Good morning. Good morning, guys. It's the DJ Stocks, I guess I'll call myself. Gonna do something a little bit different today. Wanted to add some perspective to why Chicago has become such a hellhole and why we're hoping that the military comes marching in. We're hoping for the people of Chicago's sake that the military comes marching in and clean sweeps the place. It needs a good sweeping and power washing, I'm telling you. It could use a nice clean sweep. We got some military medleys playing here. Let's bring the music down and talk about Chicago and why we're hoping and praying to Sister Angelica that there's Sister Angelica right there. Mother, it's Mother Angelica. We're hoping and praying that Mr. T, my buddy Mr. T, here he is, sends in the military, the Fed, the National Guard, whoever. Send them in. A few facts for you. Chicago used to be ruled by 5 street gangs. The names probably have changed over the years, but now there are literally hundred or thousands of gangs. There's over 102 documented street gang members in the city of Chicago by the Chicago police. Through the last couple administrations, one being my friend Lori Lightfoot there, the police have been neutered. The police cannot do a street chase in a car against anybody unless they've got to have certain criteria, so it makes that almost impossible. They can't even run after suspects anymore on the streets or in the alleys unless certain criteria is met also. So let's just say that the police have been handcuffed in their policing operations, and the gang members have proliferated. They're using like 13-year-olds to do carjackings and stuff. It's crazy. It's gotten worse. We used to have the projects in Chicago. Maybe 20 years ago, they did away with that. They went to what they called scattered site housing, which pretty much moved everybody out into all parts of the city, but still the south and the west side of the city of Chicago's the worst place ever. The south and west side are the big reason on why Walmart, probably 3 years ago, just left the city of Chicago. There was 8 Walmarts in the city of Chicago, and they all closed up. They couldn't make a profit due to people stealing. People were stealing for Walmart, and they said when they closed up, they hadn't made a profit in many, many years. So they just closed up in the city proper and are no longer part of the city of Chicago. Even though the funny part is one of the Walmart heirs, I forget his name, is one of the gentlemen, the young son of one of the Walmart heirs, actually is a billionaire and lives in the city of Chicago still, as far as I know. So, a little tidbit there for you. So, it hasn't happened overnight. It's been a slow slide into this abyss of hellholiness. And now you're throwing in the illegal migrants, okay? It's well documented that the Venezuelans and the other people, wherever they're from, have added into the mix. The Haitians, the Venezuelans, Colombians, whoever's here, have started their own street gangs and have tried to take over their turf. Going back to the point that originally we had 5 street gangs back in the 80s and the 90s. It's exploded into thousands of street gangs, and they all have their turf. Many of them have branched out into the suburbs. I know Joliet is one of the major suburbs that has a good density of street gangs. They've also made their way up to Milwaukee, Kenosha, and Racine. So in the last 10 years, they've branched out and diversified and spread out across the Midwest. The south and west side of Chicago there's some nice areas. There are some nice areas on the south and west side of Chicago, but you'll go maybe 1 or 2 blocks and there's some nice houses and very well kept neighborhoods. And then all of a sudden you run into areas where it's just a pit, it's just the pits. And that's how that's where these gangs operate. And for the most part, the people are at the will of the gang members. It's been decades since I've even heard of a gang leader being arrested. I can't tell you the last time I heard that a gang member was arrested in the city of Chicago. Probably 25 years. Yet when El Chapo's sons arrived here after being arrested at the border, it was big news. So no, I've never heard in our media here in decades that the Chicago police have arrested any major cartel or gang affiliates in the city of Chicago. Just doesn't happen. Doesn't happen for whatever reason. It doesn't happen. They control the city. They control the city, and I have a feeling that they're paying off our politicians. Why would you not want? Think about this. Why would you not want to have Mr. T send you some help? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? And further proof that it's probably happening that the gangs and their affiliates are funding our politicians in many ways. Chuy Garcia, Jesus Chuy Garcia, who is the rep for the city of Chicago in Washington, D.C. He has like a 45, 50-year-old son who has been indicted and I think he's been arrested too. It is old, probably 5-6 years ago, by the FBI for drug trafficking. So there you go. We have a guy in Congress whose son is connected to some of the street gangs of Chicago. Fact. Google it. There's articles out there on the intrawebs about it. So yeah, it's sad to say, but if you take that 120 or 102,000 gang member population and bump it up against some of these politicians' political donations, you might just see some donations from the gangs to the politicians to get themselves elected. On the flip side, Brandon Johnson, he got rid of ShotSpotter last year to save millions of dollars. But what he wants to do, his way of fighting the gangs and crime, is he funnels money to activist organizations on the street, and those organizations take that money and they pretty much bribe the gang members into being quiet, not causing too much commotion. But as always, when you've got thousands of gangs, it's hard to keep thumbs down on all of them. So thus you have things that happen like this past weekend where 58 people were shot or people were hurt. They were hurt. They were hurt, and eight were deleted. 8 people were deleted, and I don't know if you saw Nick Shirley's new video where he went and visited some alleged gang members. One of the ladies that was deleted had 5 pieces of metal in her. She was hit 5 times. A young lady, a male, or excuse me, female, 5 times. 5 times. They're using some heavy firepower. It's just not just stuff like this. They've got the best of the best. And the funny part is handguns are illegal in the city of Chicago. Yeah, handguns are illegal in the city of Chicago, yet it's probably the worst part of the state of Illinois and has the worst gun violence. Tell me how that works, right? You do a gun ban and everyone's got one. Not working so well. So maybe I'll talk some more about this. I don't want this to go very long, but there's some reasons on why we need Mr. T to march on in. And there's reports that maybe today's the day. The feds are circling the city of Chicago. They are amassing somewhere, according to J.B. Pritzker on NBC5 this morning. They are amassing. And it's inevitable, and it's a welcome sight. A welcome sight that the Saints will be marching in soon to Chicago and hopefully clean up some of this mess. All right, like, share, subscribe if you want to know more about Chicago and its mess. We'll be reporting it as it happens here on Land Cruiser Midwest with DJ Stocks. Thank you very much.